Hello po sa lahat. Kami po ang Pangasinan Board Game Group dito sa Pangasinan. Si Sakura Takeshi. We're gonna play Organ Attack. And Prince CJ.
And I'm your host, Sky. Well, hello. I'm very much excited to introduce to you this new game called Organs Attack, a Kickstarter designed by Awkward Yeti, and the Kickstarter edition comes with a expansion deck already, good for 6 players max. For your information, this is a English dub video. The original one is in Tagalog. You can check out the link in the description box. And a shout out to Mushroom Dagupan for letting us play in its wonderful, wonderful place. Alright, so let's get it on. This is a medical journal with a magnetic clasp. And let's start off by introducing first the organs. So there are 24 organs in the organ deck. The number of organs should be divided amongst the players. So for example, there are 3 players. Just divide the 24 organs by 3. Each player will get at least 8 organs. Alright, so just look at the design. It's very cute. Awkward Yeti is also famous for its illustration and comic books, so you can check them out on their website. I'll link that below as well. Alright, so let's continue. Now we also have the attack deck, which are called the inflictions for the organs. We will explain it a bit later. So these are the afflictions. By the way, this is a player elimination game, kind of like Exploding Kittens if you've played that before. The goal of the game is to be the last man standing. In order to destroy or to remove the organ of your opponent or the other players, it needs to have 2 afflictions. So let's look at these affliction cards right here. One of the favorite cards of my friend is this love card. So it not only targets one organ, but also targets 2 different other organs. It can attack the heart and the stomach because you couldn't eat when you're in love. And it also immediately removes the brain. You don't need 2 inflictions to remove the brain. With this card, your brain just doesn't work because you're in love. Right? Well, the other cards just target specific organs. Now, this is known as a wild card. It has a W icon on the top left corner of the card. That means it can attack any organ. This Metastasis card is just like a wild card. It can be used to attack any organ, but the good thing about it is that you can attack another player's organ because it is like a spread of infection. Here is another special card. The Necrosis Card immediately causes the death of an organ. So it's like 2 afflictions in one. So if you place it or use it to attack an organ, it immediately dies or is killed or taken out from the game. So Necrosis means cell death. And here is the Poison Card. One of the most hateful and disadvantageous card because once you draw it from the deck, it immediately asks you to remove one of your organs from your set. So you have no choice but to remove it and draw another card from the deck. Now let's move on to the good cards. Here is one example. The research cards allows you to choose an attack card from the discard pile and makes you own that card. So you can trade the research card for the attack card, and this cannot be blocked by any other cards in any way. Cards with this icon on the top left are called tactical cards. They serve as a way of destroying a player's gameplay. Like for example, the Sedate card takes a player out for 2 turns. Once players are in this state, they cannot attack or defend, but they can be attacked by other players. Now this Vaccine card helps you remove an affliction. Cards with a shield icon on the top left of the card are defense cards. They help defend your organs from attacks, like for example the Vaccine card protects you from inflictions for 2 turns. Now these cards with the bottle icon on the top left are called medicine cards. So what these does is that they remove one or two afflictions from an organ. For example, one of your organs already has an affliction on it. Remember that it takes 2 to kill an organ. You can use this card to remove that affliction. And then your card will be healthy again. Now take a look at this wild card. As you can see, it has all the organs on the card. So that means that any affliction can attack this card. However, the good thing about it is that it needs 4 afflictions for it to be taken out. Now let's move on to some special icons. Like for example, as you've noticed, there are cards with a flame on the top of the card. So that means that this card can be played anytime during the game, even on your opponent's turn. So for example, you'd like to use this at a certain time and inflict damage on an opponent, then you can use it. Alright, so let's move on to how the game is set up and how it's played. So this is a setup for 4 players. As you can see, we've redistributed the organs for 6 organs for each player. Now take the rest of the cards, your attack cards, tactical cards, defense cards, healing cards, combine them and shuffle them all together for your drawing deck. Now each player is given 5 cards for their attack, defense, and healing. Let's see the game in action. So our friend here has a urinary tract infection affliction card, and he also has a bladder. So what he does is he discards this, use another card to attack, and now he only has 3 cards in his hand. So he's going to draw 2 cards from the deck to complete the 5 cards. So it's like in Exploding Kittens, our turn ends once you've drawn a card. Alright, so let's talk quickly about these wild cards. As explained earlier, now these wild cards or instant cards can be used anytime during anyone's turn. So there is no special ruling about this given by Awkward Yeti, but what you do is the last card to be played will be the first card to have its effect. Like for example, this card, Necrosis Card, goes first before the Outbreak card is played. Kind of like in Exploding Kittens, there is a nope card there, so when a player nopes a nope, last person who noped will be the player who owns the game. Alright, so that's it. If you have any other questions, do comment. Please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great game!